I'm excited to have Mizuho Maeda joining today's episode of Global Design Talk by btrax. Why don't we kick it off with an introduction? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Mizuho. I'm a service design specialist at btrax. I just joined btrax in April this year, and I'm mainly in charge of, for example, for the client work, I do the user interview and define the user's problem, and also I'm mainly focused on like creating new services. So yeah.
And is this something new for you, or is this something you did in previous?
I think it's kind of related with my previous project. Actually, I was in Japanese manufacturing company before entering btrax. I was in Panasonic, and so I did some jobs at Panasonic, so like global marketing and also new business development. So for the new business development, I did the kind of interviewing and problem defining the problem and also the creating new services and products. So.
Got it. Yeah. And so we've talked to people who are designers by trade, whether they're UI, UX, and in your case for service design, how did you get into that space? How did you start working in that?
Actually, I really like creating new things based on the people's insight since my childhood, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love creating new things, and I just realized that when I was a high school student, I participated in a business creation kind of competition. Then I just realized that this kind of skill, like creating new things, applies this kind of like business creation or business development. So then I heard of the word design thinking in a kind of career program. Then I started learning the method in some design schools. It was just short courses, but yeah, I just started.
And this was all in Japan?
Actually, you mean the design courses?
Yes.
Actually, I studied in London and also Copenhagen in Denmark. Oh. So yeah, it was international program because when I started studying design thinking, there are only a few programs in Japan. Also, it was very expensive. So I think, for me, it's easier to just go to the more major area of the design thinking study. So yeah.
Got it. And so you've studied or lived in a few different places. From a design thinking perspective, in these different places, were they well known, like the concept, or is it like in Japan? You went back to Japan. Was it something where you had to educate people about what that even meant?
So I just joined the very short courses. So actually, people didn't ask me like what is design thinking or what did you learn in that courses. But yeah, I just try to apply the kind of method to my project, just like secretly.
Okay.
Yeah, just the essence of it. So.
All right, and now you can do it not so secretly.
Yes.
Right, like it's a big part of like what you're providing.
Yeah.
And that brings up the point of innovation, right? So at Panasonic, you were part of thinking through innovative new services that Panasonic could offer.
Yes.
And now you're doing that here, working with clients.
Yes.
Was it harder within a large corporation versus maybe like a small agency where that's what they're known for?
Yes, I think the creating new services in large company is more difficult for me, I guess, compared to the doing it in a small organization.
Got it. And not to say that the Japanese companies like Panasonic aren't innovative. I mean, they've come up with a lot of amazing and interesting products, but are they looking at what's being done, I guess, even in Silicon Valley and trying to utilize some of those skills and ways of thinking and mindset shifts to create new services? Was it something where they saw that, because you also studied in the US, right?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Was that a selling point for the ability to do this work at a large Japanese company?
I chose Panasonic because they have a global market, and also there are lots of opportunity to create new products. For example, like job interview, I just told them that I have some experience of learning design thinking, but I don't think they really understand what design thinking is. I'm not sure, but in my perspective, after entering Panasonic, my first the job was just global marketing. It's still planning section, but I was mainly in charge of like calculating all the sales numbers or something like that. So I don't think they really need that kind of creative person, I guess. So,
got it. So what you wanted to do, there was a little bit of a disconnect with what you were actually doing. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And so now, in terms of service design, you're not only working with clients, but you're also coming up with internal ideas on what we can offer, especially at btrax, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about like what you're working on now from a design perspective.
Okay. So I'm in charge of Moonshot project, which is like our new kind of like movement, which like we offer and we suggest new ideas to the client companies. So we no longer just wait for the client's request. So yeah, so I just try to research on some Japanese companies, for example, then create the solution for them. Then talk with them. Then yeah, I'm just trying to do this kind of process. But yeah.
Got it. And do you find that? I mean, I'm guessing these Japanese companies, we have warm networks. Like we're not just cold calling per se.
Yeah.
In terms of Moonshot and kind of new service design, who are the people that you are talking to at these companies?
It really depends, but mainly the for example, like digital section. So which is like they try to solve various kind of problem by using design and also by using digital solution. So I think it's very kind of good combination with the btrax because we can provide some digital solution like web service or application or something like that. So yeah.
Okay, and we have seen success with the idea of approaching clients, especially Japanese ones who may not be thinking about their services in the same way we're thinking about them. And so I know that we have one client where we are doing some really interesting things, and I don't know if I can say their name, so I won't say anything more, but you know, everything from utilizing anime to grow a brand, not only domestically, which is where that project started, but also globally. So I think it's very interesting how we're helping companies design, like doing brand work. And updating it to connect with it, maybe a younger generation, right? And that's not even service per se; that's just brand awareness activities, right?
Yes.
Right. And in terms of ideas, you had a project that was more of a personal project that became more of an official project when you were at Panasonic, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I was the leader of business development team, and I tried to create a new service for the victims of street harassment. So actually, I tried to develop a like small camera that can mount on the bags or just a backpack or something like that. Then yeah, it can record what happened to them. So for example, so the user put the camera on the back, then just go out. Then unfortunately, the street harassment, if the street harassment happens, the camera can record what happened to them. So the concept is to make them easier to report what happened to them. So it's not the like ultimate solution, but it helps them to just report or just have a kind of option to do something on that. Usually they don't have like evidence or just like recording stuff. So now it's very hard for them to just talk about that incident.
Mhm.
Because sometimes people don't believe what happened to them, or just even they just blame them.
The
So
victim,
like
yeah.
you may like wear the like very sexy clothes, for example, or you should not walk that kind of like street, for example.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's why I just created a new solution to just like make it easier to report, or yeah.
Got it. And I can imagine that it's also a deterrent. Like
Mhm.
if somebody if somebody knows there's a camera,
Yeah.
they're most likely going to behave differently.
Yes.
Right? We see that all the time now with kind of camera phone,
Yeah.
phone cameras.
Yeah.
Camera phones. And so, okay, and that was something that you just thought of, like you were like, here's a problem that I'm aware of. I'm going to come up with like a product or service that will address it.
So actually, that project started as a like private project at first, and I just tried to solve that kind of issue, and I didn't have like any solution, but
Yeah.
I just applied to a kind of entrepreneurship program,
Mhm.
then try to have some interview with the victims. Experts, and also kind of sex offenders also.
Okay.
Then collect the information for them. Then created the best solution for just prevent or just help them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very cool idea. In terms of design and community in Tokyo, let's say, are you involved with any design communities? Like we spoke with Akiko, and she started a design community.
Really, actually, I don't belong to any design community, but I belong some entrepreneurs community instead. Yeah, so it's kind of similar but different though.
Right, both are trying to solve problems.
Yes.
Right, just from maybe different angles in some ways.
Yeah, true.
Interesting. And you've been in the U.S. now for the last 5 weeks. What have been some things you've noticed?
Well, I used to live in San Francisco as an exchange student. I think it's 6 or 7 years ago. So it's been it's quite a while. But I just realized that it's a bit sad that there are many stores just closed. So and maybe that's why there are less people walking around the downtown, I guess, compared to the before. So yeah, that's a bit sad.
Yeah. Didn't mean to end on a sad note, but when you talk to people in the Bay Area versus Tokyo about service design, how are the conversations different?
Yeah, during this 5 weeks, I had some user interviews with the people in Bay Area, and I just feel like the people in Bay Area tend to say honest feelings. They're very willing to tell their stories, I guess. Yeah. But in Tokyo or just Japan in general, people are a bit shy, I guess, compared to the people in the US. So usually when I prepare for the user interview in Japan, I try to make more like specific question, and also think how to trigger them to speak more. But in Bay Area, I don't have to like too much prepare for that, I guess. So yeah, that's a big difference.
You just get them talking and they just go.
Yes.
Right. And so in Japanese, you have to kind of really move the conversation forward through your questions. Got it. And so the different types of user interviews, whether it's in person, one-on-one, Zoom, focus groups, and things like that, do you see more of one in Tokyo versus in the US, or is there no real difference in terms of the structure?
Well, actually, I only had a few like in-person style user interview in Japan, also the US. So yeah, since I just started my like business idea during the like COVID
Oh,
period.
yes,
So
yeah.
yeah, all the interview tends to be just online. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Who would you like to see interviewed, or what type of person would you like to see interviewed on this YouTube channel?
For me, I like to hear some comments or talks from entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really curious about like lean startup style business development. Also,
Hmm.
I think they have to know about design thinking and also the business creation or just like kind of strategic area, like
Okay.
not just like user focused service. They have to create some like numbers.
Yeah, we'll definitely find some folks
Yes.
who check all those boxes. And so, thank you, Mizuho-san, for
Yeah.
joining today, and safe travels back to Japan.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.